Someone asked me if I'd ever heard of Kurt Vonnegut, and I asked them if they'd ever heard of the Atlantic Ocean. This is my Kurt Vonnegut collection. Pound for pound, all in all, when you get right down to it, for all intents and purposes, Kurt Vonnegut is my favorite author. He is without a doubt on my Mount Rushmore of writers. I've read more from him than from any other author. Still, I've not read everything by him, but boy, oh boy, do I plan to. We'll start with the novels in order of publication. My name is Zach, and I'm sweating profusely. Most of these are vintage editions. We've got some beautiful covers in here. I am a sucker for the uniformity of the later editions, and I do plan to collect those slowly but surely over the years. But for now, this is what I got. First up, from 1952, we have Player Piano. Full disclosure, this is one that I haven't read yet, and you may ask yourself, how could any self-respecting man call himself a Kurt Vonnegut fan, never having read the man's first novel? And I would counter that by pointing out your folly in assuming I'm a man who respects myself. Or that I'm a man at all. It's 2025. Can you be sure anymore? Listen, I'll get to it, okay? I promise I'll get to it. In fact, I'm visiting the Kurt Vonnegut Museum in Indianapolis later on this year, and I will not do so without having read this. This novel was inspired by Kurt Vonnegut's time working at General Electric before he became a professional writer. It talks about the dangers of automation and the negative impact technology can have on not only our attention, but our overall quality of life, which honestly sounds really scary, and I'm glad he was obviously wrong about that. What was I saying? Next up, we have a very vintage-looking copy of The Sirens of Titan. This came out in 1959, 8 whole years after his debut. This is my second favorite Kurt Vonnegut book so far. It deals with the absurdity of life and our foolish attempts to find meaning in it. This novel blew my mind to itty-bitty pieces. It's funny, it's profound, it's depressing, it's relatable. It's honestly one of those stories you read, and after all the twists and turns and shockers and surprises, you really just can't help but marvel at human beings and what some of them are capable of creatively. Everyone now knows how to find the meaning of life within himself, but mankind wasn't always so lucky. Less than a century ago, men and women did not have easy access to the puzzle boxes within them. They could not name even one of the 53 portals of the soul. Gimcrack religions were big business. Mankind, ignorant of the truths that lie within every human being, looked outward, pushed ever outward. Mankind flung its advanced agents ever outward, ever outward. Eventually, it flung them out into space, into the colorless, tasteless, weightless sea of outwardness without end. It flung them like stones. So this is, again, that's a comedy. Next up is Mother Night. Haven't read it. Plan to. I'll get to it. Great cover. There is a movie. Okay, Cat's Cradle. This is fantastic. One of my favorites. The Sirens of Titan has a slightly better storyline, but in terms of humor, Cat's Cradle is far superior. It's almost like Kurt Vonnegut realized he was funny while writing his first couple novels, and he decided to really lean into it with this one. It is science fiction. It deals with organized religion as a tool for mass control, and it came out in 1963, so it does touch on the arms race. I do really enjoy reading books from that era, knowing what we know now, what was going on back then, how politics were shaping society as they always do. If you want to get into Kurt Vonnegut, you really can't go wrong starting here. On to the next one, sweating through my shirt, rethinking the wardrobe. We have God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater. Now, what you have to know about Kurt Vonnegut is he didn't just write stories. He created entire worlds filled with recurring characters and recurring themes and references to the other stories. His novels aren't exactly a series, but the character Mr. Rosewater does appear in several of his other books. This one's about economics. It talks about wealth inequality and the class system, and it was adapted into a stage play in the 70s. It also provides context for the novel he would go on to write next, which is Slaughterhouse-5. Okay, if you're watching this, chances are you've heard of Slaughterhouse-5. You may not have even heard the name Kurt Vonnegut, but you've heard of Slaughterhouse-5. It's one of the most popular books of all time. I don't need to say anything about it. Everything's already been said better than I could ever say it. However, what I will say is everyone I've ever met who claims to not like Kurt Vonnegut, people who think Kurt Vonnegut is overrated, whilst burning them at the stake for heresy, I always discovered they've only ever read Slaughterhouse-5. This is not Kurt Vonnegut's best book, in my opinion, and probably not in his opinion. It's a very good book. I enjoyed the book, but a big reason it's so popular is because of the controversy surrounding it. I never recommend this as a starting point for would-be Vonnegut fans. Start with Cat's Cradle, start with Sirens of Titan, start with Breakfast of Champions. Don't start with Slaughterhouse-5. It's a good book, though. Speaking of good books, speaking of great books, next up we have my personal favorite. This is The Remarkable Breakfast of Champions. This is not only my favorite Kurt Vonnegut book, it's one of my favorite books in general of all time. I almost never reread books, even when I love them. I've read this 3 times. This is one of the funniest books I've ever read. The plot pulls you in but doesn't jerk you around. It's smooth and steady throughout. It's filled with a bunch of witty quips and one-liners. It's just fantastic. That being said, I only ever recommend this to a certain type of person, my favorite type of person. Next up, we have Slapstick, haven't read it, will. And then we have Jailbird, haven't read it, will. But this edition has this awesome picture on the back of Kurt Vonnegut smoking a cigarette on the phone wearing a beanie. I mean, I should frame that. The next one we have is Dead Eye Dick, and we have officially entered the 80s. This came out in 1982. This is the story of a young boy who shoots a gun out a window and accidentally hits a woman who's pregnant. It's hilarious. We also have on the back of this another black and white photo of Kurt Vonnegut sleeping on a couch with a dog, or the hairiest cat I ever did see. Next up, we have Galapagos. I've never read this, but I'm excited to. This will be the next one I read. I've heard really good things about this. I love the back cover. I actually never saw this before. You just saw me see this for the first time. It's a pirate ship and an iguana. I mean, what more do you want in this economy? Okay, Bluebeard. This one is highly underrated. It honestly might be the funniest one I've ever read in terms of how many jokes are packed in here. The storyline can get a little taxing at times, but the jokes and the dialogue and the ending fully make up for it. This book made me cry. It's that good. Also, that thing I said at the beginning about the Atlantic Ocean, it's from this. I have not read Hocus Pocus or Timequake. I will read them both, I promise. Now, let's get to the short stories. Side note, on the back of Timequake is a picture of Kurt Vonnegut with his brother Bernard in 1976. Okay, short stories. Jumping back into the 1960s, we start with Canary in a Cat House. Please note that there's no dust jacket to this. There wasn't a spot, like, this is just how it comes, right? If you look online, this is what you'll find. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, but I do it all the time. It's just a blank hardback book. Again, this is a collection of short stories, as is Welcome to the Monkey House. These stories are fantastic. I highly recommend this book. They're all very short, very digestible, and very funny. I feel like I should change my shirt. Should I change my shirt? Nah, I'm not going to change my shirt. We now jump into the 1970s with Wampeters, Foma, and Grand Falloons. Those are all terms from Kurt Vonnegut's world. They appear throughout his novels. This is a collection of essays and opinion pieces. We also have here a beautiful black and white photo of Kurt Vonnegut in all his glory, smoking a cigarette. I always want to do this. I see YouTubers do this all the time, but like it's not like I only paid $3,000 for that camera, so it's not going to do everything I need it to. I probably just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Even more essays and opinion pieces. We have Palm Sunday from the 80s and Fate's Worse Than Death from the 90s. He gets very personal in both of these. In Fate's Worse Than Death, he actually talks about his attempted suicide. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? I already said fuck. It doesn't matter. Also from the 90s, we have Bagumbo Snuffbox. This is a collection of short fictional stories. And then from 2004, we have A Man Without a Country. This is a collection of essays. We also have Another Great Picture. Unfortunately, Kurt Vonnegut passed away in 2007, at which point his son Mark Vonnegut collected some of his unpublished essays and short stories, and in 2008 he gave us Armageddon in Retrospect, also released posthumously. In 2009, we got Look at the Birdie. Both of these have great photos on the back. I can hear my mailman outside. Hopefully you can't. Home stretch. Okay, last but not least, we have Happy Birthday Wanda June and Between Time and Timbuktu or Prometheus 5. These are both screenplays written in script form. Between Time and Timbuktu was actually developed into a TV movie on which Kurt Vonnegut served as an advisor. It's filled with a bunch of incredible photos. I'm very lucky to have this. Okay, that's my Kurt Vonnegut collection. I could easily go another 15 minutes or another 15 hours just singing his praises. It means a lot to me. When I'm in a slump, when I'm down, when I'm unmotivated, when I want to do nothing but die, these books pull me out of it and get me back into the game. They're always there for me, and maybe they'll be there for you. Life is meaningless. Read Kurt Vonnegut and laugh a little bit, huh? Subscribe if you will, share if you dare. Thank you for watching.